Hello and welcome to Kedrick Farms. How is everyone doing this fine evening? It's been chaos here in my house, unfortunately, but you know what? That's just life at this point. I came down to get ready for the stream at like 8:30 and heard some noise upstairs. My wife's gone, so I went up to check to find the little guy had snuck out of bed and was trying to get some extra cartoons in an hour plus past his bedtime. So we're going to be keeping one ear open for that. She should be home in the next half hour or so. But if I hear little footsteps upstairs, I might have to step away yet again. And I'm going to go ahead and get Farm Sim all fired up here. We're running all kinds of behind. And of course, I fired it up and I don't have it set to the right save. Hang on. We've been doing all kinds of recording and stuff in between everything else going on. I've got the rest of the week's UMRV videos already recorded, and I'm trying to get started on a new series here this week, if I can scrape together the time. And I've just installed a new mod too, which is always the best thing to do 1 minute before a live stream, right? All right, let's see what we got here. Chat, how you doing? Dusty, Fox, good to see you, man. Pleasant View Farms, always good to see you, sir. Hopefully you're doing well. Legendary, let's see Kedrick plant straight rows without GPS. So unfortunately, I mentioned it in my videos. I've been having some technical problems, and my stream decks I thought were having a problem. It turns out that I installed a firmware update for my steering wheel, and anytime I'm pressing a pedal or I'm actively steering the wheel and it's not at 0, the rest of the USBs on my USB hub stop working. And so I suspect it's the steering wheel, because if I turn the steering wheel off, all my other devices on that USB hub work just fine. And all the devices on that hub are USB 1.1 devices, and it's a USB 3 hub, so it should have plenty of bandwidth. But I've been having all kinds of problems. So we're no steering wheel tonight. We're going to be doing it with the mouse and keyboard, which is going to make it a little bit easier on me to steer straight here. Dylan, how you doing? You're 2 for 2 on streams. Good to see you again, sir. And Johnny Popper, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Farm Sim Freak, long time no see. Hopefully you're doing well. Swamp Fox, the weather's been crazy here today. It was 86 or something as a high. It was absolutely crazy. All right, folks, that's enough yippity yapping out of me. Let's see if I can get this game going. I don't have any sound. Why don't I have sound? Maybe my headphones aren't turned on. Well, that's always a possibility. I just switched the battery out on them. That's the possibility. Perfect. All right, I'm going to switch over to game mode so that you guys can see what I've got set up here. We'll do one of these. I apparently have a crash counter that needs to be reset. 1, 2, 3, there, reset. And we are going to be running No Creek Farms here tonight. Let me delete my test save here. We're going to do this live. I didn't get a chance to figure out if Farm Manager is going to delete buildings and stuff on this map or not. So I'm going to test that real quick. I do have a handful of mods here, pretty much the recommended mods, and then a handful of older school stuff. I'm going to get rid of a bunch of these miscellaneous expansions that we really don't need. Specifically, I don't want pumps and hoses on here. I guess I'll leave Platinum expansion on. All right, I think that's going to be good. I don't have a lot on here. My basic utility mods, the ones that were recommended, and then, I don't know, I've just got a smattering of older school stuff. I'm going to get rid of planter mods that I know aren't going to work. Just scrolling through here kind of slow on purpose so y'all can see what I've got. This is my kind of standard back-end setup and then a few extra mods. Dan, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. This planting mod is by far one of the best game changers in the game. Chris, that's what I'm hoping to find out. And I've been a little under the weather today, so hopefully I'm gonna have the presence of mind to learn how to do something. Am I using Maze Plus? I'm using all the things that were included with the map. I want to say Maze Plus was one of them. I'm not sure. I know the Enhanced Animal System mod was in the list, and I did get the update from today, so I shouldn't have any problems with whatever the problem was, that there was a hot fix to the map. And let's hit escape. I don't need auto drive. I'm using Start in Spring was one of the recommended maps or mods. I'm seeing most of the buildings here. I'm gonna take a run around. I don't know if I'm going to take a fly around, actually. I don't know if anybody's played on this map already. If you have, let me know if you see anything that looks missing or out of place. I think Farm Manager mode should work for us, though, just because this is a reasonably sized map. It looks like everything's kind of looking good. But we're going to be starting off with the starting farm setup. Oh, it doesn't start you with the farm like it does in the normal mode, which, I mean, it sort of makes sense, but maybe maybe we'll do this the other way. I have much better luck when I don't mess with Farm Manager mode on maps that have a bunch of stuff pre-set up in them. So I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to go into New Farmer mode, because in New Farmer mode, I owned all the land that was associated with the farm, and I just don't want to take any chances tonight. If things go well tonight, maybe I'll leave that one on too. I'm not going to use it. I want that one off. If things go well tonight, though, I may start over on this map as a serious playthrough, where tonight I kind of just want to play with the mechanics and learn it a little bit. And then JMF actually asked me if I do a setup video on it where I explain the unzipping of all the files and different things, because there was a couple of different things that you need to get up and running with the map, but it was pretty straightforward, I thought. But yeah, the update was mainly for the feeding, and I thought maybe I've been looking for a map to do kind of an older school series run on, and having the row crop planting be a part of that would be kind of fun, I think. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, and this is one of those maps that I've always wanted to do a playthrough on. And I've played it a couple of times, but I've never done an actual playthrough. So the only problem with New Farmer mode is I only get 100,000 when I start like this, and no equipment on this particular map. So let's start off. For anybody that hasn't seen No Creek Farms, we'll get this out of the way real quick and we'll get into some actual farming. But we start off with a pretty decent sized farmyard here, and we've got a milking barn right here. At least I'm 90% sure. I haven't had a chance to really look at it too deep. We've got some, manure coming out the side. We've got a more complicated mixing setup here, if I'm not mistaken. I think the feed mixing is either custom on this map, or it's something along the lines of Maize Plus. I'm not really sure. But we end up with these different silos that hold different things, and then they pour into this belt and go into the mixer. And then, if I'm not mistaken, I can fill out from the back of this mixer over here, and or it might auto feed into the barn. I don't know. I have to read up on that. So tonight, though, I'm going to focus on trying out the new row crop mechanics, and then if we like that and it looks cool, we may end up exploring some of the other mechanics on this farm and actually doing a proper playthrough and learning everything inside and out. So with that kind of out of the way, let me just pull up the map here as the last little bit. This is not really set up to be a multiplayer map, or not, or a multi-farm map maybe is a better way to say it. And that's mostly because there's one farm on this map and some sell points over here. And so it's more set up to run a single farm. We do start with all of this farmland as one big parcel, and then the rest of them are broken up pretty nicely across the different areas of the map. You've got some cool waterways and stuff like that. If we look at the field info here on the property that we own, we've got a few pastures or grass areas here, I'll say. Let me go back to the crop types. We don't have anything. I'm using the start and spring mod, so I don't have a lot of things planted right now. If I turn grass on, you can see we've got grass in a few of these fields that we start with, which is great. We're going to have something to mow if we want to try out animals. And then I've got just a bunch of stuff in various states of tilled. The grass is technically ready to be cut, I suppose, but we're not going to monkey with that. We're going to jump right in here and get a planter going and give this a shot. So with all that intro stuff kind of out of the way, let me turn off flight mode. Let me find a spot. I think our equipment also spawns on the farm when we buy it, so I don't even need to use my cheating to have it spawn somewhere good. We are going to give ourselves a little bit more money tonight because, again, I just want to play around with the mechanics tonight, and I figure people don't want to see me grinding it out with the smallest piece of equipment available. We'll save that for a series. So let me just give myself, I don't know, $1 million? $1 million ought to be enough for all this old school equipment we've got. And I've got some cool mods. Now, let's talk about row crop planters. There's 2 planters that I know of right now that are available for doing this Rowcrop Ready. The first one, JMF released, which has a 4, a 6, and an 8 row option available for it. So I'm going to buy both of these just so that we can play around with it. And here we've got, I'm going to use the bigger of the John Deere's, the 8 row. And I've got some different capacities. We'll go with the smaller capacity on the bigger planter. I'm going to use row markers tonight instead of GPS. I've got insecticide boxes. Nice. So I'm going to buy one of these, and then we're going to go up a level, and I'm going to buy the cool 950 Cyclo that Rooster released. This is a separate mod. It's not like a configuration option. It's a full-on separate version of the planter. And then I have some different options on this thing. I've got liquid. I've got dry tanks. We're going to go with dry tanks on this for the fun of it. And we're going to get 2 tractors to match up with these 2 planters. From the thumbnail, I've got some nice internationals. I'm going to go ahead and grab one of these. I like the white here. And I'm going to get Rowcrop duals. We're going to get a nice exhaust, and then I want the cab on this thing. Upgraded cab means upgraded everything else. Lights just in case. We'll get all the extras. That should be enough. What is control center add-ons? This thing, oh no, I don't like door grips. Mirrors though, mirrors might be fun. We'll turn them on. No front loader, no GPS. I'm gonna control myself here as much as I'd like it. And then I've got a bunch of John Deere tractors here. Buy a 4955. I don't know if I've got a 4955 mod installed. And I'm not going to use the base game stuff. I've got 40 series and 30 series stuff here. Let me double check what I've got in large tractors. I don't have anything there. And I think small tractors are going to be too small for this. I've got an open station. But we're going to get probably a 4840 for this. You want a 4440. All right, Farmer Jack 4440. Let's do it. I'm going to get the power shift. We're going to get the row crop duals on this as well. I'll put half weights on. No, we never had flashers like that back in the day. Factory mirrors. We had the retro mirrors on ours, and we'll go with this. All right. Control myself in live stream chat should provide great entertainment. All right, I'm gonna load this up. We're gonna do some playing around. We'll get these hooked up and out of the way real quick, and then I will get some seed and other things purchased. I've got to remember all my keyboard commands because I don't have the steering wheel tonight. Luckily, I've been using them a little bit more with the technical difficulties I've been having, so this should go okay. I don't want to go too far because I still need seed and fertilizer, but I need to get this John Deere hooked up. I'm not going to need auto drive much tonight either. Living, I need the 8RX. There you go. That would pull this 8-row like nothing. Yeah, it's been so long since I've done an older equipment series that I can't remember what the prices are on a bunch of these mods, so $1 million is always my go-to. Okay, I'm just gonna start with 2 pallets of seed and a pallet of dry fertilizer, I think. Seeds. I'm gonna buy 2 of these, 1 for each planter, and then I'll just buy this, some European fertilizer. I'm sure it works just as good. Oh wow. Okay, so this thing doesn't even hold a full pallet of seed. I know the other one will. And this probably doesn't hold dry fertilizer either. It does not. All right. We've also got some new game problems here. All right, I always forget this. When we start a new game, normal, seasonal, 1-day growth is fine for today. Periodic prodding on, field stones off, dirt normal. We're gonna have dirt be slow. Engine start goes off, workers don't do anything, and save game. Just popped in to say 8RX back to work. Yeah, you've got videos to edit, man. Yes, this map is a PC-only map for lots of reasons, I suspect. I haven't actually looked into all the details of how the new Rowcrop Ready stuff is working. So that's something that I don't know if it's going to be possible on console or not. I suspect no, just by default, but we'd have to see. And let's get the fertilizer going. Good enough. Okay, I'm gonna leave this here. We're gonna start with green. I haven't gotten a chance to run this thing yet, and I ran the other one to make the thumbnail, so I want to try something new here to start off with. And we're gonna go take this out here. And I do apologize, I'm a little bit behind on chat. We're just trying to get going here. Once I get out in the field and I'm driving in straight lines, it'll probably be easier. So here's the problem with this map and manual rows. Look at this field. Look at field 8, folks. This is the curviest ass field I've ever seen. So I could play it safe and we could like come back here and plant in a straight field, but where's the fun in that? We're gonna jump right in here to this curvy field with all the grass, and we're gonna figure it out. I have not gotten a chance to check out DR Modding's new map, the one that just released, the 1X. Is it Monith or something like that? That is on my list of maps to check out because I'm really curious to see if it's any good. Because if it's good, I might end up running a series on that too. Don't forget my end rows. Legendary, I'm not a savage. End rows get planted at the end, not at the beginning. Now, which way do I want to plant this field, though? Actually, that only applies if the field's somewhat squarish, so maybe I'm going to plant them right now. Yeah, we're going to start right here. Now, I had to remap some keys because Z is normally my cover key, but that was conflicting with the planter arms key. So I've moved my cover key. Hopefully I won't need it. Oh man, what? Hang on. We gotta sleep a day to plant all the Rowcrop crops. Does the Rowcrop Ready edit work for courseplay workers on your headlands? Akula, that's a great question. I've got courseplay installed here, so we can figure that out a little bit later. I'll get this guy going. We'll plant a little bit manually as it was intended to be done, and then we might take courseplay down to a different field, because courseplay is not going to work in this field. There's no way, and we'll figure that out in another field here. Okay, planters on. Planters down, and the arms down. Let's see how it works. We're planting seed. We're missing a whole row worth of field over here on my right, but I'm too scared to move it over. We'll have super crooked rows. I can't wait to, what do you call it? Fast forward time and see our crops actually come up here afterwards. Oh my goodness, we're gonna be so far off into the driveway. Farmer Trio, how you doing, man? Oh, this should be really entertaining. I can't wait to see the crops grow after we do the 2 headland passes and figure out how much into the end rows I end up driving. That's gonna look so awesome. But like, look at this. I'm all over the place. I'm nowhere near the edge of this field. I should not be allowed to plant corn. And apparently I'm planting silage corn here. I forgot there's new types. So there's silage corn, there's regular corn, or field corn, and then there's Rowcrop soybeans. And I believe at least the soybeans is its own fill type. Silage corn is obviously meant to just be harvested with the chopper. So we'll have to try and plant one of each crop just to see how it does. Levi Farms, how you doing? You guys just finished beans up. Nice. I can't even imagine trying to do this from in cab. Also, the fact that this planter's going 8 miles an hour is kind of crazy to me. I don't feel like we ever planted that fast. Oh, my rows are way off in the grass. We never planted that fast with this era of equipment back when I was farming. I think we were going like 4.5, 5 miles an hour maybe with the planter. What I don't like is I can barely see where I've planted. If you look close, and I guess we could hop out and check the rows, so to speak. If you look close, you can see the line where the planting is happening here, which is really cool. It looks very much like a planter ridge going through here. So I like that. I'm kind of curious to see how crop destruction is going to work with all of this as well. So we'll have to check that out once we get a chance to move things forward here. Also, I won't be able to easily mix my... I can't wait to harvest this, actually, because I'm going to have to pick a header that matches up with how many rows I'm planting at this rate because of it being all wiggly. I mean, I know Farm Sim, it doesn't really matter. It'll just harvest no matter what, but it's going to give me the option to, I think, have a much more realistic harvesting experience as well, which that should be fun. I'm not the hugest fan of how far under the ground the planter arm is going, though. Like, I'm full on losing that planter arm like a foot under the ground there. Yeah, we're... Oh, wow, I'm missing like 6 feet over there when I'm making those turns. This is one of those things that's going to take a ton of practice. And on a field like this, I don't even know how I would plant my straight rows with the waterways the way they are. Maybe I would just go straight over them and lift up as I go through. So I'm going to need a nice 4-row combine, or I guess I'd use a chopper for this. This is silage corn, so it probably doesn't matter how crooked my rows end up. But yeah, I think we're gonna do some beans next with the cyclo planter, that case setup. That'll be interesting to see how that works out for us here. We might have to pick one of the smaller fields though, because this is gonna take a minute. I kind of want to see how the worker handles it as well. I guess the worker would drive straight. Buck, you guys just got done with silage. Used Meyer silage wagons. Nice. You guys did 2 ag bags. How much volume, or I guess I don't even know how normal people would measure silage, but how big is a real ag bag? I'm gonna need a psychologist after planting this field. No. The psychological damage doesn't come until the harvest comes around, and I have to try and drive a combine down these rows. Like I said, this is the field we're chopping, so it doesn't make that big of a difference. But it's gonna look horrible once once we're able to start seeing it grow. I certainly could have picked an easier field to start with. Man, I just want to hurry up and fast forward time so we can see it grow. We're going to be completely just skipping time straight to harvest as soon as we get a couple fields planted. I want to plant 1 field of each of the crop types. I also probably shouldn't have used the smallest planter on the biggest field. That was not necessarily very smart of me. We might switch out here and grab the bigger planter if we're going to finish this one. I'm trying to think what I want to do here. Well, we'll finish this headland off at least. I might want to put more rows in the field here. Have less than 3 rows on the driveway though. Just a thought. Easier field and a bigger planter. Yeah, the next field will go better with the easier field and the big planter. Okay, so I don't want to lower it here because then I'll have rows in the middle of rows. If I lower it here, should be good. We go in cab and follow the ditch. So the problem with doing it realistic like this in cab, which is actually a fairly realistic version of this, is then you guys are stuck watching me, look back and forth all the time. Like, I get nauseous doing that. I can only imagine as a viewer that would be unpleasant for y'all. So you can overplant now. I can. That's the whole thing. We're gonna see that here in a minute. So what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna plant this whole thing. I'm gonna plant another headland pass here. Not that I have much of a straight row. I'm gonna try. I didn't put my arm down. Oh no, how do I know where to drive? Oh, planter arms, I'm gonna have to remember this. Okay, I'm gonna come down here and line myself up. We're gonna take 1 more headland pass, and then I'm gonna do a few long rows, and then we might not even bother planting the whole field. I might just switch to another field so that we can see how this all works out. Oh, this is gonna be epic. Look at this, I have to eyeball a 30-inch gap. Yeah, that's where we've got to remember the planter arms, folks. This is why I wasn't allowed to plant in real life when I worked on the farm. He didn't mind letting me harvest, but planting was something else. All right, we've got some over rows there. Now what I'm gonna do is spin all the way back around. I really shouldn't be driving over my field this much either. See, knowing that there's real rows here is gonna get me to start thinking more about trying to be realistic about where I put the planter and stuff. Here we actually do have our planting arm though. So if we go in cab here, I'm going to make sure I get more or less up to where I want to be. And much like real life, I guess I'm supposed to start driving and then drop the planter as we're moving into the row. And then all I've got to do, all I've got to do is keep this down the line. Keep that hood ornament right down that center line in theory. And all life is good. It's not crooked back there at all. No-till into the grass. Yeah, that's something else that you can do is you can no-till right into crop stubble now. I am going to straighten this out, though, because we've got the driveway here. I'm going to need that mod that lets you shut off individual rows. Not that I guess I could do that in this era of equipment electronically. Maybe I could. Oh, we didn't put our planter arm down again. Okay. We're going to remember this time. This is very much a mashup of the worst planting experience ever. I should be recording this. Okay, here we go, here we go. That goes down. That goes down. Stop, drive straight. Why are you going sideways? I'm eyeballing a 30-inch row here. It looks like it's double that. We're just going to cut our losses and try to drive straight. I'm trying not to cheat and look at the degrees in the lower left-hand corner either. At best, you would have halves that you could shut off. Yeah, I think that's how that used to work. Man, that's going to be a narrow 30-inch row there, I think. Oh, this is so much fun. And up. And then we'll try and do a full round how I'm supposed to. Drop. Line it up. Wow. Okay. A little more subtle steering here. We're drifting. It's so hard to see that ridge marker, though. Like, you can just see it up there sometimes. I don't know. Maybe it's just me that's having a hard time seeing it. My old man eyes. But we're making a new ridge mark, so that's good. Yeah, see, Alec, I've completely lost it. I can't tell where it is at all when I'm in cab sometimes. We're practically on top of the other row. We're messing this up royally. I love it. And there. Ride that right wheel brake a little bit. Oh no. I can't drive. So now I've got a crooked ridge mark, which is easier to see because it's crooked. So do I just keep following the crooked ridge mark the whole way down the field? Or do I try and straighten it out a little bit? Van Reasons in Minnesota, always good to see ya. Hope the family is doing well, sir. The Hydro should have better ridge marks. Yeah, that's my hope. We're going to switch out here after I finish this round, I think. I think we've got enough to really see how bad of a planter I am. Because I just want to see how it works tonight. And that's going to take some time. I want to see the effects of running the combine over it. I want to see the effects of crop destruction. So we're here to test this out. I just lifted up instead of changing cameras. Well, let's see what that looks like. More corn in a crooked row, exactly. All right, so this is a field with some silage in it. I'm going to come over here now, and we're going to change our type. Can I change? How do I change my... I thought it was Y. How do I change my seed type? Select seed. There we go. It's just pushing too many buttons. I'm going to plant some regular corn, and I'm going to see if I can no-till it straight into this grass, just for funsies. So let's try that out. And it does appear to be doing something. I'm just doing it at a random angle here, too, for the fun of it. We'll see how this works. King Randy, good to see you, man. How you doing? I'm really curious now to advance time and see what happens. The new map is doing well. It's a little bit of an FPS drain, not a huge one. I'm running at around 60. I occasionally see some small dips when I'm up in the farmyard, but it hasn't been too bad. Normally I run at a pretty constant 60 frames a second though. So when I'm seeing it right now, it's dipping down to like 58, 56. Actually, I can turn it on so you guys can see that as well, kind of. And so you can see my frame rate holds pretty steady. If I look away from the farm, even though, like, I see dips all around right now. And I've heard that there might be a little bit of a performance run right while you're planting, just because of the way that this all works out for the Rowcrop Ready stuff. Because you notice as soon as I turn it off, my frame rate gets back up to a constant, 60 frames a second pretty much. So there is an overhead when you're actually running a planter in the ground with all of this new stuff going on. There's a Kinsey planter that is set up for row crop now. Nice. Whose planter is that? I've only used Pleasant View Farms Kinsey at its narrow soybeans and wheat look awesome. Advanced time just to check it out. Yeah, that's what we're going to do next. We're going to get soybeans planted next in another field down here, and then we're going to run the clock up and see how this all works out. Braden, how you doing? Happy October to you as well. Yeah, I could see the ridge marks in the grass better. That's true. I can imagine no-tilling into like wheat stubble or something would be cool. I have no idea which fields down here are in what states, but I think all of my other fields that aren't grass fields are going to be down here, so we're just going to drive down to the other end of the farm real quick. Check out our in-cab readouts here. Yeah, nice. It's got a decent interior to it. And my mirrors work, which is always a bonus. Nice bob on the cab. Polecat, yes, it only works with certain planters, the new row crop functionality. This field's not too bad. Let me look at the map here real quick. I know I'm right in the middle of it for you guys. We're going to go down. We're going to plant fields 19 and 20 real quick. They're smaller. I'm kind of curious to hit up a couple small fields and see what this is going to look like. Not this first grass field. The ones right past it. All right. Jarhead, how you doing? Wonder if they can make 16 row and 24 row crop compatible too. I'm sure you can. I'm not sure if the performance gets worse as you're doing more rows or if it's just the same. We'll find out here once I get this thing running in the ground. Let's see what it does if my frame rates are any lower than they were with the 6 and 8 row. Where is No Creek based on? That's a great question. I don't actually remember. Okay, let's do this. Ooh, that thing's nice and loud. I do have precision farming on, so let me go ahead. I'm going to buy the PF data for our value, just because I have unlimited money for the live stream here. And then I guess I'm going to do a headland pass. I'm not going to do 2 because I can turn around on this end, so I won't put a ridge mark out on that side just yet. Ghost Play Games, how you doing? Been trying to start an FS22 series. It's been quite hard to find the right point to start recording at. I just do it right at the beginning, right after you get... a lot of times I used to do it even while I was setting up my equipment. Look at this, we're 3 feet off of the edge of the field already. We're messing it all up already, folks. But you can also grab the mod that I'm using on this right now, which allows you to start in the springtime. It's a great... I always found starting in the spring to feel more natural. Now, I am doing kind of an awkward turn here because I don't want to overlap these existing rows. There we go. And I'm just going to plant this. We're going to overplant into these rows when the time comes, I think. And look at the washout over here. Oh, we're going to have to get out here and clean this up at some point if we're farming this field for real. And I've got 3 rows out in the grass. My goodness. We're just all over the place here with this planter. We'll see if I can make this turn without having to back into the corner. That's not too bad. On this end, I'm going to need 2 headland passes, I think, because I won't have enough room to turn around. I suppose I should be running this thing down in a more reasonable gear as well. And I promised I was going to turn on my frame rate, so I don't know if it's more trees or if it's more rows on this planter, but we did lose a couple more FPS on planting down here than we had up by the farmyard. So that's something to keep in mind, even when I look like around. I guess if I look straight down at the ground, it might just be more trees in that case. Okay, this is the direction that I want to be going on my rows, I think. I know the other way is probably longer, but I don't know if I want to plant... Well, actually, oh no. Oh, we've messed it all up. We tried to fold the planter up. My bad. The thought I was having, and I apologize, I'm a little bit scattered right now, is that it might be more fun to do this not on a normal angle. So we're going to do that. I'm going to drop this down. We're going to have a really messed up entryway here. There we go. But I'm going to plant 2 headland passes this way, and we're going to go on the long angle. I think that's going to be more fun. Back the camera off just a little bit. So in hindsight, I wish I'd have put the marker arm down when I was going down that way. That's okay. All these rows are going to just get chewed up. I should put the marker down all the way around the headlands, no matter what I was doing in hindsight. That's all right. Good evening, Neil. How you doing? I like the start and spring mod, but I've found on some maps it wants to have all the NPC farms plant in grass. Yeah, that is a part of the problem. I've noticed that most of the farms don't end up with great crops when you do it that way. What am I doing? I don't know, I'm just driving randomly right now. I'll go down to the corner, I'll take another headland pass, and we'll start doing some long rows until I figure it out. N2 NDF might need an oops, I did it again counter. Yeah, exactly. Tonight's less about crashing, more about I'm just doing it wrong. Okay, here we go. I'm going to plant another round of headland here. And I'm able to see it a lot better here. You can see the planting rows in this field, at least, a lot better than the other field we were in. Oh man, I'm turning so bad. Okay, let's do this. Time to get a planter arm out and see how good we are at planting some up-down rows. This first round is going to be pretty rough as I try to eyeball it. Just trying not to have too much of a jerky thing. I'd rather have, you know, some odd rows into my headland row than to have everything in the rest of the field have that janky curve. K-State, how you doing? Good to see you, man. Now, in real life, I think I'd just flop that over and have it drag through the headland a little bit, even though I've already planted there. So maybe I need to just stop. Stop! Maybe we need to put the planter down if we want to plant. Okay, let's try that again. Just follow the line, Kedrick. You can do it. It's just like real life. Yeah, Neil, that's great advice. As somebody who's done YouTube farm sim videos for, I don't even know, over 5 years now, play something that you find entertaining, because if you're trying to just play something that you think other people are going to like, but you're not enjoying yourself, it's not going to go well. People like to watch you most, I have found, when you're having fun, and you'll find your audience. Oh, and see, now I'm going to be more trying to get it perfect when I'm in cab. Ridge marker acts as a plow and plows already planted crop. That is also true. Uh-oh. Stop. But I just remember when we were driving our planter, you just flip it, and the goal was to make your turn fast enough that you know, the ridge arm came down right as you were coming into the next row. I am going to finish this field out just out of curiosity. It's not going to take us that long, and then we'll fast forward time and check out what this looks like as things start growing. That's quite the hole there. I should have started that arm coming down quite a bit earlier. Any idea how Easy Dev Controls handles Rowcrop Ready fields? Yeah, so Easy Dev tools won't handle these new planting types, as far as I remember JMF saying in his Facebook post. Drive, don't stop. Oh, I think I got it lowered in time that time. I just know we're gonna, like, it looks pretty good right now. I'm feeling pretty confident right now that I'm doing a pretty good job and that we're getting better at it. I know when, as soon as we look at these plants, when they come up, it's gonna be all kinds of janky rows. I'll never get any real farmers to let me drive after seeing the real rows planting version here on Farm Sim. Nick Reed, this is No Creek Farms, the, what do you call it, the Rowcrop Ready edit that JMF Modding just released on his itch.io page. I believe the link is in the description of the live stream. It should be, at least. I'm going to turn right to turn left. It's like an opposite of being in Michigan. Well, no, actually, that is how it works. Man, I must be really tired tonight. All right, here we go. Dropping it down. I'm going to overplant the headland down here because of how the rows end up. Tim, appreciate the confirmation there. I always second guess myself, or actually I always copy my settings for one post to the next, and so when I switch maps, a lot of times I leave the old link in there and it confuses people, so I appreciate you taking a look for me there. All right, that's this field planted. Oh, I see so many little spots on the end rows here that we missed, but we're gonna leave it. Jory, the Case International that I have here, this 12 row, was also updated to work with the Rowcrop Ready, and I've heard there's one other bigger planter that somebody's already released now, so the mods are coming out. But this one was done, I know this is done by Rooster Mods, and I know he worked on some of the Rowcrop Ready stuff with JMF, I think. At least he was given a shout out in the map, so I suspect this one is going to work properly for sure because it was mentioned in JMF's post. Kedrix OCD is about to go into overdrive. See how long he can handle it. Yeah, as soon as these crop rows come up, it's going to be GPS in every tractor. I'm never self-driving again. Oh, this 1086 is struggling to get up this hill. Come on. Can you plant soybeans into grass also? Absolutely. We'll do that up by the farm. I'll do it in that same field that I planted the corn so we can see it side by side. Or relatively side by side. I think I can direct drill into, you know, any crop stubble or grass with this thing. Jarhead, I was planting beans right there, and yeah, beans doesn't hurt so bad with overplant for sure. It's not going to cause me too many problems. Man, I can't believe I'm bogging out getting down this little hill, though. Plant some curves. Here, I'll jump over into this field. We've got corn. We got silage corn around the outside. I'll plant along the inside curve of this with beans. The dairy that JMF set up on this map is pretty cool, too. Yeah. Maybe we'll have time in the second half of the stream to take a look at some of the animal stuff that he's got going on. All right, here we go. We're going to go around this big curve here. Man, all I can think of with seeing these mechanics here, and we haven't fast forwarded yet, so maybe I'll reserve my final opinion until then, but all I can think of looking at this map and these mechanics is, wouldn't it be awesome to see Westby get the Rowcrop Ready set up with all of those little strips, and you could do, yeah, Neil, intercropping, where it's like the one strip is beans, the next strip is corn, and it'll look so much more natural. Oh, it's going to be so cool. I wonder how hard it is to actually add the support for this to a map. I might have to look that up and do a video on it. Oh, I ran out of, fertilizer. We'll back up real quick and finish this row out to the end row at least. The Cole the Cornstar test plant. There you go. Yeah, Legendary. I'll have to ask him about it and see if he's planning on releasing info on how to do it, or if he'd be okay with me like doing a video on how to do it. Why am I? Okay, well I guess the row ends there, folks. I'll just plant through these. I'm kind of curious what that's going to look like. We got a big curve back there to see how the beans look. Because if I was actually planting this field, I think I would just lift up and drive through the waterways. That's what we did in real life on a few fields like that. This one's getting lost underground too a little bit, the arm over there. All right, let's not overplant our corn here. I'm gonna lift up. We're gonna drive over a few passes here, and I'm gonna look for that last ridge marker we had and try and follow that down with some beans. Oh no, I was planting with that 6th row. Okay, I'm gonna skip a few rows and then we'll plant here. Here we go. It looks like the beans are no drilling and this planter is no tilling in. No drilling, no tilling in. I wonder if you get half the amount of what you would get with an in-game planter because the game won't register the gaps like it would otherwise. I think that because they've used a custom fill type for this, that the yield is being adjusted. That's my guess. Yeah, crop yields are adjusted. That's what I would have done. And so I'm pretty sure they've thought of that one. Do I think this map is better than UMRV? I don't know. I've honestly not really played this map much, so I can't speak to that. I will say it's a very different experience than UMRV, so it depends on what you're looking for out of a map. This would be a great single-player series map, though. I like the field layouts. I'm just pulling this up into the yard since we ended up in an awkward spot. I think we're all done with the planting part now. I think what we need to do is we're going to fast forward time. So let me I want to get into flight mode so that we can fly around and take a look at all this stuff. And let's do Shift Z. I'm going to skip ahead 1 month. Yeah, Nick, I'll show you the map here in just a second. Let me get these crops popping up. I think everybody that's watching is kind of curious how these mechanics actually work out. And this map has been around for a while, so this is No Creek Farms. I'm going to leave that little flash of a teaser there for everybody to want more. This is No Creek Farms. There's a single farm here, and you start off owning this huge chunk in the middle, and then all the other fields you can buy more or less individually, and then the sell point is right up here for all the products and the fill points and stuff. Oh, you can see the little spots where I didn't plant. Okay, let's go take a look at this. First off, here's those beans that we just put in, so you can see we've got actual rows. It's interesting. I mean, you're limited by the Giants engine, so you can see that they're on the rows that they would have been on in game, but they just kind of cut them off to match up with where they would be. So at a distance, it looks great. Up close, it's a little weird looking, but that's to be expected. The corn looks a little better. You can still just see the same jagged rows, but I've got corn popping up here in between my grass. And then if we jump up here a little bit, oh yeah, look at that headland. Have you seen anything more beautiful than that kind of an end row? It looks amazing. And then we've got overplant here where the rows come right in. Yeah, this is looking great. I love it. Let's come over here. I want to see what some of these curvy areas look like for the corn and the beans. And yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good. It looks, I was expecting it to look jankier. I mean, if you sit right up above it like this, you can see the way that the rows normally would have gone. But when you're kind of down here to the side, when you get to the side, it looks really good. Straight on, you know, obviously I've got some pretty high population on these rows here, but it looks pretty good. The beans definitely look better at a distance. I like it. Am I sure there's water in that bottle? Yes, unfortunately. I've been a little under the weather today, so I do apologize. I'm a little bit out of it, but only drinking water for tonight. I'm going to zip down here to our other field that we fully planted. I want to see kind of what that looks like. Oh, it's going to kill me. Look at all the spots I missed. It's just going to look so bad. I'm not allowed to plant anything next to the highway. Oh, I'm glad this wasn't corn. Like, how do you even handle that? I got these two rows right on top of each other. Oh, so horrible. So, yeah. You can see exactly how this is going to work out. It's going to be terrible for me. My entire series is going to be me complaining about how bad my end rows look. Look at that. This is the worst. It looks horrible. Oh my goodness. Don't forget to put your ridge markers down. That's step number 1. Step number 2, hire somebody who can drive in a straight line. Not me, apparently. Look at the woo, woo, woo. It's so cool looking, but it's so bad. I'm such a bad driver. Oh, this is awesome. This is one of those features that I always said it would be awesome if you could do in Farm Sim, and now somebody's done it. I'm digging this. This is fun. All right, well, folks, let's zip up here to the farm. I want to get things fast forwarded so that I can jump out here with the various harvesters, and we're gonna see how this whole thing works out with harvesting. Put this map on the public server. K-State will thank me later. I don't know about that. I think there's probably some wonkiness with all of this, and there's very few mods, but I'm sure that people are going to want to check this out soon. Make it easier to count your rows when harvesting that way. Ah, there you go, the silver lining, Neil. I'm going to be able to see where those rows line up exactly, or where they don't line up. If you're doing a series on this map, we may have to talk about your editing rates. You can afford anxiety meds, exactly. I wouldn't be able to edit it. Having to look at it once is bad enough. Oh, man. Okay, let's get some harvesting out here. I'm going to pick up a combine. I'm not going to buy a bunch of them. Man, we're going to go John Deere. I want to try out one of these Titan ones. I haven't had a chance to. 7720. I knew a guy down the road that used to have one of these. I think it was the original. I don't think it was a Titan 2. I don't remember what options are. I'll get the longer pipe, always good. Got to go with the 2-wheel drive. Sure. So this is a 7720, which isn't the smallest one. I don't have the combinations thing. I thought I used to be able to jump over and see what header this would take. I've got the headers that go with these installed. What is an all crop? Oh, that's so you can do beans with one of these, which I always thought was interesting if you wanted to. We're going to get the 6-row because I'm going to use I'm going to get an 8-row. I hope this thing will run an 8-row because we did, well, no, that's silage corn. We did all of our corn with an 8-row. I'm going to get the 8-row. And then for the bean header, it doesn't matter as much. We'll try both here in a second. I just want to get... Oh, I don't have a specific one. We'll get the big one for the bean head as well. I should be able to run a 30-foot. This is a 12-row. I should be able to run a 12-row on this thing. We'll go with the bat reel here. And then I'm going to get that 4-row bean header, the all crop one, because we did our beans in 12-row. So I'll get a 6-row, and we'll have a couple of different things that we can play around here with. All right. And, oh, I forgot we need a forage harvester. I've got one here. Do I only have the 5830 on here? What forage? I thought I had a pull behind forage harvester. Let me just look real quick. I've got this. I think that will work. I don't think I need any special harvesting equipment. I just want to double check that I don't have a pull type forage harvester. Where would that even be? I thought the pull type forage harvesters were usually here. Does anybody remember? Sorry, I'm ignoring chat while I try to figure this out. I swear I installed the pull type forage harvester. 60-minute Christmas special, all bloopers from this map. There you go. Oh my goodness. Half the video is going to be bloopers. Forage wagons. Maybe it's under mowers? Nope, I don't see it. Okay, well, I obviously don't have it because it would be here. So I planted the corn with an 8-row planter, so I'll get a 4-row corn head. And we're almost done buying stuff, and we'll skip the time forward here. Hopefully it all fits in the yard here. Let's go, Combine. Oh, I've got the stupid flight mode thing on. There we go. I always forget that I can't get into vehicles. All right. What crop? Oh, we were going to test crop destruction. Do I have crop destruction on? It's a new save. I never remember to turn it on. Crop destruction is on. So let me drive across these beams and see what happens. That didn't do anything. In the forage harvesters, I'll double check real quick. I think I checked, but we'll double check one more time. No, it didn't show up there. I must have not installed it. I'm gonna drive over this other field here that's not the grass field. It'll be a little bit more obvious if I'm destroying anything. Okay, this isn't doing anything. I know I've got Rowcrop tires on the other tractors, so usually people make it so those don't destroy crops. I don't remember if I installed manual attach here. I don't think I did. I'm just bad at driving. Let's just get this stuff moved forward. I want to see get it to harvest point. You can't destroy the first stage. Thank you, POS Ford. I always forget that. John Deere for a while made a row crop header that looked like a corn head. Yeah, which I think is kind of similar to what we've got here. Okay, now we've got a bigger stage. Let me grab this thing. I'll put the header on this and we'll drive over some stuff and see if we can wreck it. Let's go. Oh, it's looking good even as it grows too. Okay, crop destruction's working. Yay! I'll run over some corn here in a second too. Rooster Mods, how you doing, man? I'm embarrassing myself with your mods. They work great. I can't drive though. Okay, so that's what silage corn looks like driven over. This is our regular corn. Yeah, that's why there's a difference. So you get the different quote-unquote harvested textures. But I guess I should wrap up my wanton destruction of crops. A new channel, Wreck-It Ketter. That would be a lot of fun. I could get my soon-to-be 7-year-old on here with me because all he likes to do is run things over. We'll have a Wreck-It Ketter channel. We'll call it Ketterk Rex. We got to go with the theme. Ketterk Farms, Ketterk Builds, Ketterk Rex. Let me see here. We're going to move time. Or let me jump up into the air. I want to go look at the other field too and see how embarrassing that looks as we've continued to make things bigger. And then I'll move time forward while we're down there, and then we'll fly back and observe on the way back up. Man, these rows look so good. Look at how good that looks now that they've gotten bigger and it's less obvious. Like the beans are so bushy, you can't even tell. And even the corn, I mean, the corn looks great. Oh, this is so much fun. Okay, I'm going. We're going to check out the other field. Then I can explore a new game, Wreckfest. I've seen some videos of that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how good I'd be at that game. It might be fun though. Did my beans plant through the waterways? That's a great question. I don't think those waterways were plantable, but I'll go back and look. So yeah, look at that. And it looks good with the weeds and stuff too. Oh man. It didn't really fix the disaster down there though. Apparently it's not magic. What mod was that general settings screen? I might have a mod. It might be base game. I don't know. Are you talking about this screen? Mods just put other settings now in the game settings screen for me. Oh, this screen is Easy Dev Tools is probably what you're thinking of, where I can come in and do all kinds of stuff. I can turn all these settings on and off. You've got player stuff. I've got, the ability to drop anything to the ground, fill things up, you know, do things with vehicles, placeables, farms, etc. It won't work with setting the row crop plants in the ground over here, though. I'm going to come back here real quick. We're just going to check, and no, these are not part of the field. So if you wanted these to be like part of the field, you have to like plant grass, you know, tilt this up, plant actual grass here, and then drive through them with the soybeans, I think. Lieutenant Dan, how you doing? Oh, good to see ya. Can I sleep while we're in midair? That might be fun. Let's try it. King Randy, you've been around for a while. I'm surprised you haven't come across that easy dev controls yet. SK, how you doing, sir? Welcome to the stream. Always good to see you. Hopefully your evening went well. I know you were waiting out the storm. All right, we've got... oh, this is probably ready for silage here now pretty soon. And the beans are getting big. Let's check the map. I'm curious now. The silage corn is not quite that dark green. I think we need to wait one more stage. It's interesting when you look at the stuff that we no-tilled into the grass, you can see it's like kind of this mixed pattern on the harvest map, which is kind of cool. All right, let's get back up here to the other end. I will sleep again until we see things grow in one more stage here. I want to get out there and harvest. We're already an hour into the stream. We got to get some harvesting done. Yeah, SK is actually the one who pushed me to try this map out in chat the other day. He told me about it, and I was like, oh yeah, I saw that released. Maybe I should actually take a look at it. Silage corn is normally really tall. Yeah, that's true. Oh, there it is. Look at that. I'm going to bring up the map here just to make sure it's dark green now. See, this is dark green. It means we should be ready to go on silage. I'm pretty sure that's the darkest green. Does that match up? I don't know, but it looks ready to go. I guess it'll tell me if it's not, right? I don't know. Has anybody played on this? Is this the ready to go silage green? The sleep mod is called Sleep Anywhere. Playing on the server and listening to the stream on the other screen. Very interesting gameplay edition. Yeah. That's how I got started, honestly, is I was watching a ton of streams on the side while I was playing and then decided to try and be the streamer one time. Helps if I push the right buttons, turn off the stupid flight mode so I can use the chopper. And you know what we forgot, folks? We forgot a silage wagon. I don't know if I've even got one on the server. Let's find out. Oh no. Let me go add a forage box real quick. I'm gonna save. I've got one sitting in the folder. I'm gonna just add it real quick. Quick game. Yes. It's my my buttons don't work? No, of course they don't. Give me 1 second here. I've got to close out of the game altogether, and we're gonna toss this mod into the folder. Should take only a moment, and y'all will be able to see how fast this map loads up too. UMRV. I think I have the Meyer boxes on. JK Meyer pack. I don't know which one is which though. I think it's this one. I've got multiple mods on that server, and then we'll drop it in the No Creek folder, and let's go. There was a cloud error with FarmSim 22. Thanks, Steam. That's so useful. All right, and back to the streaming. I've lost the game. Where'd the game go? There it is. It's loading. It's coming. It helps if we activate the mod after we install it. So, Meyer forage boxes. Away we go. THG Gaming, good to see ya. How's the week gone so far? It's been great. It's Tuesday. It feels like the week's been a little longer than that, but in a good way. So we've been doing good. Do your pull behind forage harvester since you're out? Yeah, I didn't have it in the mod folder, so I must not have saved it after I downloaded, or I didn't put it in my mod folder for the streaming setup here. So I'll have to grab that one again. I know JMF released a edit to a pull behind forage harvester. Again, I don't think I need any special harvesting equipment here other than that. If I want to use the Rowcrop bean header there. And now if I go to trailers, we've got a whole bunch of boxes. I'm going to get this one. It doesn't really matter. I'm not going to fret about it too much. We're going to keep the crop saving, or we're just going to take a default setup. Hopefully this thing can pull it. This little dinky thing. I guess I've only got a 4-row head on here, so in theory it should work out. Dylan, I'm in my 20s and have mastered sleep anywhere. Kids have that effect? Yeah. I'm in my 40s, and I don't know that I'd say I'd mastered it anymore. The older I get, the more and more that lack of sleep catches up with me. Put the pipe out, and then can I go? I'll go in cab here for a second. So I guess for forage harvesting, this doesn't matter as much, but we're gonna try and follow these awesome rows that we've got. Oh dear heavens. Yeah, this is cool. Let's go out of cab. So we've got the silage corn just running in there. My driving is atrocious, but it's forage harvester, doesn't matter as much. And yeah, things look good. I like the texture used on this. I'm really curious to get into the row crop stuff here though next and see what that looks like. I'm curious if I can harvest this with the normal combine once we get to the next stage, or if this even has a next stage. But we're getting some pretty decent yields here, considering I didn't really bother fertilizing or doing anything with this ground. So it's in a pretty rough state. And man, that is just some tall corn. I mean, when I'm up in the top of a forage harvester and the corn's almost as tall as I am inside the vehicle, well, that's some tall corn. I kind of like this old school forage harvester too. Oh, we're missing rows all over the place. So everything seems to handle, I mean, you can see I'm driving like a maniac here, right? And the rows all hold themselves together pretty good. I like that it's silage corn. It looks good after we've harvested it, and you can see it's got the drive over crop destruction. So when I go wiggly wobbly here with the trailer, it's knocking over those stalks. That effect I love. That should be standard on every map. I love it. I suppose I'll make my way to the end of the field here, and then I'll fast forward time and we'll try out the other crops. Johnny Popper, I missed your comment a minute ago here. Says, has anyone had issues with the convey-all auger for the top-load bins? I go to fold out and fill my pipes joint, and they all moves to the side and snaps to the opposite side. I have not messed with that yet. We're going to harvest some real crops here, and we can try and put them in the bins. I have to say that... oh man, my driving. I have to say... the row crop look and feel, especially as we're going around curves and stuff where I've got actual rows around the curve of the field, makes my bad driving doing other things even more noticeable now, which I don't necessarily appreciate, but it's cool. It's cool. And here's where I double planted. Look at this. I've got the like area where I overlapped with the planter because I think I backed up in this corner, and it's all double planted here. That's pretty cool. This head isn't doing me any favors either. It's set up to be 4 rows exactly on the work area, so if I get a little bit too close to the left-hand side, even though my snout looks like it's out on the other side of the corn still, I miss a few like that. In real life, I think it'd pull them in a little bit. But, yeah, this mod's working great. These curvy rows are amazing. It's just so much fun to come up to a curve and see the rows actually curve around the curve. Silage corn you can't combine. That's I didn't expect I would be able to, so that makes sense. We did plant a couple rows of it back here though, so we should be able to see how that combines even though it's in the grass field there. But yeah, I don't know, this adds a lot to the game for me. Oh, Neil's saying you can combine it just doesn't yield as well. Interesting. Do they have? Does the corn all combine in as the same fill type then, or do they have their own fill types? I know the soybeans have their own fill types right now. JMF said in the comments. Yeah, definitely need some fertilizer on the corn though. Our yield is a little low. Oh no. I'm trying to read chat. We drove way up on the embankment. We're all over the place. Oh, no. This thing doesn't have the juice to pull this, I think. I'm like, my wheels are starting to slide all over the place. What is going on here? I don't know if it's just because the hill and this wagon is kind of sliding on it, or if I was getting lifted up by the header. But that wasn't all my fault. I was definitely not trying to steer like that. I'm a bad driver, but I don't know if I'm that bad. Oh, you're referring to real life, Neil. Okay, yeah. I think in Farm Sim, usually when there's a silage corn type like this, a specific corn type, most of the maps I've seen, they make it so that it's unable to be harvested with a normal combine. But yeah, my 4-row header is taking 4 rows of silage here, and we're doing awesome. I guess I don't need to go all the way back to the other end here. I'm going to, well, we're going to take this up to the yard, though, just so I have it, and we're going to see where this goes. See if we can figure out where I guess we've got the harvest store. I didn't read up on all the animal side of the stuff for tonight. I knew we'd be hard-pressed to get through all of the crop stuff, but we might do another live stream later this week and try out all the animal mechanics on this map too, because there's some pretty cool animal mechanics. This thing is slow. I guess I could have just chopped my way up to the end of the field at almost the same rate at the speed we're going here. Hopefully with this 4-row head on it, though, I'm going to be able to pull up next to the harvest store. I need a blower, and I bought a rear... Oh, no, I bought a rear unload forage box. That was my bad. Normally, I get the side chute. So, yeah, this map is definitely set up for people who want to try and do things more realistically. One of the... I think it was a required mod is the Enhanced Animal System mod, which really overhauls some of the animal mechanics and adds a little bit more realism. I can't remember if I've got Maize Plus on here or not. And do I have a blower? I do have Maize Plus because I have Maize Plus mods down here. I do have a blower. Look at that. Well, I know just the tractor to put on that. My little 4040. We'll just do I have a, no, I don't like that. We'll do a stock 4040. See if I can remember how these blower mods work. Was that a walking cane? It's an animal cane. It's lets you pick up 100 animals and move them between sheds like you would with a trailer. It's really awesome for these dairy maps. I've got ranges on this tractor. I've got to shift up a little bit here. Okay, now the question is, though, which one of these does the silage go into? I'm assuming they're productions. 16, and they're all the same. So my inputs are fresh maize, which is what I've got now. And that turns into fresh silage. Grass, haylage, or yeah, grass. Different kinds of grass. I don't know what all that is. We can do high moisture corn. We can do raw corn. What's the difference between raw? Oh, raw CCM. Okay. I'm guessing some of this is the maize plus stuff. I can whole crop. Is that wheat? My goodness, all kinds of cool things. Blue harvestor, the tall one. Okay. We're gonna gear down a little bit. Does this thing, oh, I'm nowhere near it. I was gonna say, does this thing connect? Or do I just have to, I like the ones that actually have like the queue to connect thing, because I'm horrible at lining this stuff up. It's easier with the steering wheel, I find, but that's more or less lined up. Turn on forage blower. Stave and the tall are interchangeable. I'm gonna try and back into this with this nice easy to reverse trailer here. I got to get it a little bit more angled, and then I'll pull ahead and back in. It's been a minute since we had to back one of these up. Okay. Need to get my wheels over there. I feel like if there was a trigger on this thing, that would work. F5. Yeah, I don't know if the trigger on this thing is just so low that it doesn't see it, or if I'm not backed up. Oh, there it does. Oh, no. There it is. These wagons are a little bit wonky, yeah. And it doesn't help that I've got a rear load instead of a side load. So where is this going? In here, I assume? Fresh maize, loading it up. All right, so then I can activate that, and it'll turn into maize silage. That's pretty snazzy. All right, well, one mechanic figured out here for when we do eventually get to animals. Let me get back over here, though, to the field harvesting mechanics. I really want to see our Rowcrop soybeans. I wish I'd done more Rowcrop corn than we did, but we'll check out both of these. I think I've got to go forward to like October, though, to get those crops to be ready. Let's find out. Dave, what about the boxes with the front plus side discharge I had on UMRV? Yeah, well, this is, those are those boxes. I just bought the wrong one. Okay, so I think the silage corn is going to stay where it is. I think that's like the final state of it. Oh, I love the neon green. I just want to check the growth menu. Okay, these are at dark green now. So one more month should do it. I think it's October. Well, yeah, what's a crop calendar look like? Good question, Neil. We'll go look at that in a second. That would be the easy way to answer when the crops are ready for sure. Sleeping. Sleeping. Oh, there it is. Everything's ready. Crop calendar blocked by the save. We have our new type down here, silage corn, which we've obviously done early. Rowcrop soybeans. I think they've got the same calendar as the regular soybeans. Yeah, so you can still drill normal soybeans in. It's just the Rowcrop soybeans that have their own fill type right now. It looks like they're going to use the regular corn fill type, and that can be harvested all the way through February. Oh, that's interesting. That is definitely a longer window there. Let's grab this bean header. We're going to test out these beans right here in the grass field first. Although I've got these corn headers in the way. I'm going to try and squeeze in between them. Why is it so dark? Let me move the time forward so we can get into some daylight. There we go. And let's get this guy moving. Ooh, we'll wait a second to do the in-cab views. Unfold the harvester. Got to put those extenders up. There it is. All right. Oh, and I don't have unit convert on here, so I can't see it in bushels. I don't know how much yield we're actually getting. But yeah, this looks good, and we're getting our harvested texture underneath the grass here for this beans that we planted through. So that looks pretty slick. I like it. And then we were gonna try out this all crop head as well. So let me not harvest all of these. And we'll go get that other head. Which one was it? Was it the small one? I think it was the small one. Because we had 12 rows of beans, so I think I got the 6-row head for the all crop. Yep. Got to put all those snouts down. Oh, this is going to feel so weird for harvesting beans. Let's see how it works, though. Gotta get them snouts in the rows. Is it working? I'm not getting anything. Doesn't appear to be actually harvesting them. I wonder if it's because I double cropped onto grass. Hang on, let me go double check this thing. It was this head right here, and it says beans. I've definitely got that one attached to the vehicle, so this isn't working. Man, I don't want to drive all the way down there and not have it work on the other field. We'll buy a new one when we get down there in a second. I'm going to go back up to the other end of the field here. We're going to get the corn header on and test the corn. It's the header not working. All crop needs an update from tired iron. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Ford, appreciate it. But yeah, so far I am really enjoying this. This is a new, definitely a whole game changer for me. I'm gonna have to see how hard this is to add to an existing map. Not that this isn't a great map, but There's some other maps with the really small equipment that I would find this to be even more engaging in. All right, so I've got 2 different 8-row stretches here side by side. Oh, I've got soybeans in here. 1 second. Rooster, I think he did all these Parker trailers. We're gonna just grab a little tiny one. And a tractor to go with it. Rough Riders, you're stuck at 85% on FS22 on a PC mod map. Usually that's a mod conflict. If you look at your log, a lot of times you can see what mod was being loaded and having an error, or what the last, error was, and look for the mods on either side of that when the mods are loading in. Half of the time it's courseplay, though, I feel like. I had a lot of issues with courseplay, making my game get stuck for a while there. Flex heads are way better for soybeans, hence why John Deere quit making the row crop heads. Yeah. But sometimes it's fun to use the older equipment, even if it's a lot less efficient. All right, here's the moment of truth. We'll start us off in cab, see if I can count my rows off. I'm off a row this way. Like so. So I'm okay with the rows right up until this point, and then it's like I can't see well enough to see where I'm at row-wise. It's kind of like real life. There's so much dust blowing you can't tell where your snouts are sometimes. And yeah, the yield's looking pretty good. I'm curious to see what happens when I drive through the end of this and into the other spot over here. Oh, we're missing a row. What kind of pain do you think it will be to get courseplay to line up with the rows? Yeah, I don't think that's even going to be possible. And yep, you can't harvest the silage corn. Makes sense though. It's a whole different crop type, unfortunately. I mean, you could set it up to allow it to be harvested, but I'm not gonna fault them for it. Found manual attach mod used to conflict a lot. Yeah, I got rid of manual attach on most of my saves because it didn't cause a hard conflict, but a lot of times it would like make certain things unusable, which was really frustrating. You'd be in game and it's like, why won't this connect and work? I don't understand. And it's like, oh, I gotta turn manual attach off for this mod. All you need for no-till is crop destruction on grass. It would make it so cool. Yeah. Okay, so that's our corn test. Let me just buy another trailer to dump this out into. We'll get a slightly bigger Parker gravity wagon. And then I'm gonna switch back to the bean head, I guess. And we're gonna go down to that other field and see how that looks and works with a much better experience, not just our test plot here in the grass. Would be interesting to see how VR would work on this. So I had a third-party deal that would let you do VR with Farm Sim that I played around with, because I've got VR set up in this room, and it worked okay, but since the game wasn't really optimized for it, it was kind of a struggle, and the performance was not great. Alright, let's see. Yeah, I was totally lined up perfectly there. Well, I guess I can grab this row of beans that we planted over here as we go down there. Just for a little bit of fun, we'll see how they look around this giant curve up here. See how this head does going through silage corn. We'd be totally wrecking some things right about there. But look at the ground too, just seeing how it only planted that area. It's a little bit awkward to see only the ground under the beans get the stubble like that, but as you drive the combine past, actually that's kind of realistic, because as I drive past with the combine now, I get the spread effect across the whole 12 rows. Oh, that looks kind of cool. Trying to drive and look at what's going on at the same time. Well, I appreciate that. That actually feels kind of neat. And it's a slightly different texture too. It's hard to see when I zoom out here. I know I'm jerking the camera around a lot. I'm just trying to see all the things there is to see. Looks like strip till. Yeah, kind of. Not surprised FS22 isn't optimized for VR. Yeah, well, FS22 isn't optimized for anything. So not being optimized for VR is just another step up there. You know VR is bad if Keter's supercomputer can't handle it? Yeah, exactly, Jarhead. If the 4090 can't do it, you know it can't be done. It was playable. It just wasn't a fun experience. What I probably need is a better VR headset at this point. I've got the original HTC Vive, but I do have the gigabit wireless thing that sat on top of it, so I don't have to have a cable, which that thing was really changed VR for me. To be able to move around in the whole room without being attached to a cable, that was a lot of fun. Dylan, have a good night, sir. Thank you for coming in and hanging out with the stream tonight. It's always fun to get to chat with the channel members. I guess we're an hour 43 in, and I do a horrible job at self-marketing, but if you are interested in being a channel member, we do run some members-only servers for the channel members on the Discord server. We've got a couple going right now, UMRV and American Falls, and the goal was to also have a crossplay server, but we don't have that many people who want to play on the crossplay server just yet, so maybe at some point we'll get that back up and running. We had the Edgewater map on there for a little while. Let us get down here and try out this other stuff. Now, is this going to be wide enough for me to get a 12-row head down without a cart? That's the real question. It's a tight squeeze, but as long as I don't catch a tree, I think I'm going to be okay. Or this fence right here. Oh, we caught it. Oh, no. We definitely caught that tree. I was so worried about the fence post, and instead, we're on a tree. Crash counter +1. Okay, it's technically possible. I'd have to come out here with a chainsaw and get that tree cut down, though. How big of a gap is there between PC gameplay and console gameplay? It's huge, and I'm not saying that just because I'm a PC guy. Like, I probably wouldn't be playing Farm Sim if I didn't have a PC, because the amount of gameplay changing mods like this, I mean, where else have you seen, you know, row-based Farm Sim except on PC? This is a mod. I don't know if it's even possible that this comes to console at some point in the future. Anything that's script-based, like, just doesn't make its way over there. And I use, I don't even know, probably a good 15, 20 script-based mods, or I can't even hardly stand playing Farm Sim. Things like auto drive and course play are super useful for me when I'm playing on bigger maps. The easy dev tools, this whole menu where I can use to set up, to record, and do all the things necessary. Without that, I don't think I could handle playing. I've got double planted beans here. Look at how thick they are right there. That's so cool. And it's clearly possible to do if modders can figure out how to do it on top of the very restricting gameplay engine, the Giants could do this if they wanted to. I sort of understand why they don't, because most people don't want to put the effort into, you know, the more realistic side of things, but it'd be awesome if it was an option you could toggle on, like realistic plant rows or something in the settings. Because little things like this, for me, really add that like huge layer of realism to the game. Yeah, exactly, Legendary. Like, I would rather play with my graphics cranked way down on a potato of a PC than go to console, I think. Let's back it up, folks. We'll go in cab here for the next pass. I could see myself doing a bit more in-cab driving with real rows as well. I'd have to get that Tobii eye tracker thing back on, though, I think, maybe. And there's a couple of mods that let you look around inside cabs better. Look at how much dust there is, though. I mean, I drove a combine in real life, and I guess doing beans was like this sometimes, but I can't even tell what row I'm in. I think I just have to do like I did in real life, where you put that center support on the header right down the middle of the row, and you just drive and pray. Hopefully you're not choking down too many rocks. You're more listening to hear if you hit the rock than you are able to see anything. The only thing you're looking for is to see if they're bunching up on the way in. All right, let's see. Now we can turn around and see what kind of damage we did. Oh, we missed a row down half of the field. Oh, no. Yeah, that happens in real life to me, too. I remember harvesting beans and... the guy I work for be on the radio, "You're missing a row! Back up! Back up!" Okay. This would be easier with the steering wheel too, I think. I'm just a little bit out of sorts because it's the first time I've driven with just mouse and keyboard in Farm Sim in a long while, actually. I have been using the steering wheel for all of my videos and everything lately, and I've gotten really used to it, so to not have that for something like this is a little bit odd. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There it is. We're off a row again. I don't even want to look behind me. This is just like planting. I don't want to know. I don't want to know how bad of a job I'm doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Lots of row counting that goes on in real farming, especially when it's super dusty like this. Why would Giants do that when they can't even give us simple bushels as an in-game choice? Yeah. That one I don't understand, because they gave us US, you know, or imperial or whatever it's called. You've got the unit of measure for distance, you've got acres, you've got Fahrenheit temperatures, but they won't give us bushels. I don't understand why they won't just add that to the base game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I missing a row again? No, I'm off a row the other way. Okay. I had it right. I was just a little bit turned. Oh, big bumps. And I've lost the row again in the dust. Well, we'll find out when we get to the end here if we've missed a whole bunch of rows. It doesn't really matter with beans, but it's more just about bragging rights here. Oh, I missed 2 rows. Wow, I'm not even close. Not even close. And here it's like, well, what do I do? Do I pick up the row I missed, or do I follow the actual planter row? I'm gonna follow the planter row. You can see over here, like, see how you can see the rows where they got wider and narrower from my planting by a little bit. It's so realistic. I love it. And then here you'd get into that awkward part where your outside snout is, you know, running over the other row because you got too close. Like, yep, I like it. I like it a lot. Sorry, I'm just kind of drooling over the cool new mechanics over here. Oh, I don't even have to count when I plant my field so bad that there's a huge gap here. Cut on an angle. This is one of those things I probably talked about in my old school thing. We did what was called ridge tilling, I think now, where you always drove up and down the rows. You never did anything at an angle. You never did any normal tillage work. So, like, that's my default go-to. I know a lot of people that cut the beans on a little bit of an angle, though. So we can definitely do that just to see what it would look like. I don't think people that do that, I don't think you do it at a huge angle, though. I think it's like 15 degrees or something, right? Something like this. But yeah, you'd never be able to do this when in our like ridge till fields because, I mean, we had like some pretty good ridges. It'd be way too bumpy to cut across. But once again, that was over 20 years ago, and we were doing it different than everybody else back then. Most people were cutting at an angle even 20 years ago for just that reason. But he had a philosophy. He never wanted to drive over those ridges because there was no compaction on them, because you never drove over them. You were always between those rows. I think it depends on the area, maybe. I know, I was talking to somebody who's still doing ridge till just a few months ago. I'm trying to remember where he was from. He was an older guy, though. This would be easier with GPS, cutting at the angles. But even at the angles, like, it looks so good because the rows go the way the rows go. Where in base game, right, when you look down the field at a different angle, it looks like the rows are going whatever angle you're looking at. And I'm looking at this at an angle and still seeing my rows go the right way, even with the beans. That's amazing. Know a few older farmers in southern Iowa that use ridge till. Yeah, I feel like it's probably some of the older guys. Been doing it their whole life. Yeah, I've got weeds in this field too. Not necessarily the best indicator of yield, but this is a really small field and I'm getting some pretty good yield off of these beans. I don't even have unit convert on here, so I can't really tell how well I'm yielding anyway. I guess I could do math and convert things, but what fun is that? I don't even know how many acres this field is off the top of my head. If it ain't broke, you're not gonna fix it. Yeah, there you go. JMF Modding, how you doing, sir? This is amazing. I've been talking about it all stream and having you in here. You know, everybody, this is JMF Modding. He was the one of the people that contributed, but the mastermind behind all the stuff that you're seeing here tonight. I know some of the mods I've used were other people, but JMF is the guy who got this all working in the map. And I encourage you to check out his itch.io page and all the information he's got in there about the map and his list of credits to other people who contributed. But kudos, sir, for an awesome gameplay feature on a really cool map. We haven't gotten too much into the animal mechanics at all tonight. We've been solely focused on how awesome all of the row crop stuff is. So, question I've gotten asked the most tonight is, will we be able to add this to other maps, and how hard is that? Is there like a block of stuff that I'm going to be able to copy and paste, put it onto some other maps with a little bit of XML tweaking, or is there like a lot that's going to go into that? I can't wait to see a map like Westby get this kind of treatment. The only downside to this map is if we need a bigger planter for the bigger fields. I don't know, 12-row planter's pretty good size. I think that I think you could knock out most of the fields on this map with a 12-row. I wouldn't want to try and move something bigger down most of this field, or most of these fields. The roads are kind of small, and you gotta cut through a lot of places to get to a few fields. It's not super easy. Yeah, that was kind of what I was thinking. I might still have to, at some point, try my hand at it, because there's a bunch of maps. Like, now that I've played this, I want this on every map I'll ever play again. It's awesome. Although I'm going to have to learn how to plant better first, because if I have to look at end rows like we had on this field, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle it. Got to resize the GDM files. Ah, there you go. Yeah, that's probably not going to be for the average user. All right, let's take a look here. 99%. I almost filled the hopper. We're going to leave the couple of things. We're going to leave the row of shame over here. Yeah, let's drive this up. I want to try and put this in the bin. I know somebody was saying they had a hard time getting crops into one of the bins. So we're going to haul this up and put it into a grain cart, and we'll try and load up these bins back at the farmyard real quick before we wrap things up for the night. If I can do so without running in the fence. You know what? We're going to cheat. I'm going to drop this header off here. Get out of the way. We have game mechanics to test out. Haldor, 10 p.m. sounds like a more normal hour to be up than 3 a.m. Just woke up. Good thing I didn't miss the entire thing. Yeah, there you go. Welcome to the stream, sir. You shouldn't hit the field. You should hit the field with a disc real quick for the fun. Oh, and I did get Rooster's new mulcher slash what do you call it? Mulcher slash chisel plow that I'm gonna be trying out here too. I wanted to give that a shot, see how that works out. I know it just released on the in-game mod hub. We can plow down some of this silage corn we didn't get to. In the real life, that header sits there for the rest of eternity, pretty much. It's just now part of the landscape. Mississauga, Ontario, Canada here. Well, Johnny, I have been up in your neck of the woods more often than I'd care to admit. I used to work for a company, and we had an office in Mississauga, so I used to drive up there every other week for over a year. There's a, man, I wish I could remember the name of the road. There's like a mall or a big movie theater that was right across this major freeway from us. And we used to play Frogger to get across that, and then go to this little Greek restaurant, takeout place that was there. And they had the most amazing rice bowls. Oh, I loved it. Is it this one? Is this one the corn or the beans? Who knows? It's beans now. I'm gonna need an auger. Somebody was saying they were having problems using the conveyall, so we'll grab that one. It's kind of a long auger for the bins on this map. Not sure this is the one I would use. Yeah, here, Ontario. That's the name of the road, sir. Oh, this is gonna take forever. Yeah, they used to rate the spicy level on the rice bowl that I used to get by how many lines you wanted him to draw back and forth across the top of your dish. It's like, how spicy? 5 lines? 6 lines? But yeah, we closed that office up. I don't work for that company anymore, but yeah, we moved out of there, so there's nobody up there anymore. I don't even know what's in that building at this point. We have plenty of money. Yeah, we're not playing this one legitimately, Haldor. This is a testing live stream. We fired everything up just to test things out tonight, so I gave myself $1 million, and we've been buying equipment all night. Come on, slowest auger in the world. Yeah, this is not the auger I would use on this map. It's way too big. I'm only doing this because somebody in the chat earlier said this was the auger they were using. It's a base game auger. It should work fine, but it's humongous. I could have probably just gone and grabbed a tractor to hook up to this to move it a little bit faster, I suppose. Alright, let's get this open. I think these are the bins that I gotta actually open up the top. Let me try that one more time. F1. Open gate. There it is. And then let me... Can I not unfold this? Oh, it's this steel. There we go. All right. Grab a grain cart. Let's see it. For Farmer Trio, I have no idea. I'm going to finish testing this stuff out, though. Oh, yeah, we've got the messiest farmyard right now. We're just leaving stuff everywhere. My output's on the other side, though. Let me swing around here. I'm not going to try and back this thing all the way up. Your cousin's wife works for Digital Extremes. Nice. I'm trying to think where that is. All right, all right. I can squeeze through here, maybe? Not so much. Everything's got to go. Not a normal Kettering process? Oh, yeah. Because I always park my equipment back in the shed. Although in UMRV, I've been doing better about it, but no, I like to just leave stuff in the nearest out-of-the-way spot that I can. And then it always ends up being in the way anyway. Oh, of course, I've got duals on here. Oops. Alright, I'm gonna try and get a little closer. I'm doing the worst possible job here. Now that should be in the zone. Maybe I just need to drive over it. Alright, we'll take a second round and we'll just, we'll plow right over it and see if I can get it in the zone. I mean, I could always move the auger out of the way and then move it back under, but, you know, who's got time for that? Okay, apparently I'm gonna make time. This is why I hate these kind of augers. They just don't work as well in practice. Because it's not like I can just actually move it under here like I would in relative real life. Why can I not get into this thing now either? Oh, there it was. So, realistically now, see, I can't... There's nowhere for me to take this thing. Like, this is not how I would actually try to get this under here in real life, but we'll wing it. Okay, I've got an auger. It's over the thingamabobs. It's in the chute, actually. This should work. And if that Parker wagon doesn't have a tip, then we've got problems. There it is. So, beans going in. And nothing going in here. Let me adjust it a little bit. Oh, there we go. Just need to raise it up far enough to get above the top. And in they all go. So if I start dumping this again, they should just keep flowing in now. Yep, everything's working. Be nice if this auger actually drew all the way down to the bin, but, you know, can't ask for much from Farm Sim. Oh, really, Johnny H? I know a few people that worked on Warframe, actually. Very cool. Actually, I know somebody who still works on Warframe. So what were we looking at here? I'm sorry, I'm getting all distracted now. Yeah, Rowcrop soybeans. Went into the bin, no problem. I like it. So I think we've tested out all there is to see with the Rowcrop mechanics here, and they're working amazingly. I guess the one thing that I wanted to test that we didn't was whether or not I could use courseplay to plant with Rowcrop. So I'm going to jump into this tractor here, and I'm going to go all the way back around to March, I think was when I could plant. And we'll test it out here real quick. Let me look at the calendar. Double checking April. I can plant in April. Oh, film director, nice. Yeah, my day job right now is in software development. We've been working on an American farming game for mobile, which has been a lot of fun. Hopefully gonna release soon. We've got a couple more bugs that we're working on getting rid of here, but game development's it's a whole different world. I was in just normal enterprise software development for big companies for years and years, and then I got into games, and there's some parts of it that are fun and easier, but there's some things that are just so much harder. Oh, we've got proper snow here as well. The yard is filling up with snow in January. I like it. Well, Johnny H, welcome to the channel. Appreciate you coming in, hanging out, and chatting with us. It always keeps things interesting when we're in between jobs here, especially when I've got somebody to talk to besides myself. Oh, the snow's really starting to stack up here in February. 2 more months to go, and we're gonna be jumping into seeing if Courseplay can handle this. Kedrick versus Courseplay. I don't usually win these fights, Legendary. You know how this goes. It can be quite brutal at times. 1 more month. Yeah, next stream we're going to have to figure out the animal mechanics, and then I can do a whole tutorial video on all the Rowcrop stuff and the unique stuff on this map. And of course it's raining. I can plant in the rain, can't I? So the silage corn does die off, which is cool. Oh, and we wanted to test out that tiller as well. We'll do that in a different field. I'm going to go find a field that's Courseplay friendly. I'm not naive enough to think that Courseplay is going to work in that field. but there's one right down here. Not all. I don't have to go all the way to the back corner. There's one a little bit closer here that I can go into. That should work out. It has the big fuel tank gets sat here and idled all winter, pretty much. Unlimited fuel. Planting the dead silage corn? Should be able to. I mean, realistically, I don't know that you could really try and no-till into standing corn. That might be asking a bit much, but from a game mechanic perspective, I should be able to. Yeah, so I have to like get lined up on those rows perfectly to actually get rid of the corn. That's really cool. So that works exactly like it should. The red ones just sip fuel. So I'm going to try this field right through this gate over here. I think that's going to be a good enough field for course play. It's got some curves, but it should be able to handle it. And let me see here. Course play, create job, generate a course, 2 headland passes. We'll start on the headlands. Generate. I'd prefer if you did it against the longest edge. Let's see what that looks like. That looks better to me. First waypoint, go. It doesn't like that there's no fertilizer, so we will fix that real quick. First waypoint, go. Now we're getting into a color feud here. Gotta keep it civil here in chat. All right, it looks like it's planting rows. So I don't see anything, I don't see any reason why this wouldn't be able to handle it. Now, setting the raise and lower mechanics, right? So in course play, you have these options on the vehicle thing. You can set raise early, lower late, or you can do it the other way around to determine like how quickly you want it to set the implement down and raise it back up. This might make for some interesting end rows, but overall, I think it's going to be fine. I'm going to let this guy go, and I'm going to jump back over here real quick, and we're going to pick up that tillage tool that I wanted to try out before I forget. That was in plows, I think. This is a new one by Rooster, which will mulch in front of it and then plow behind it. Stickers and a triangle. I like it. Oh, you can put some weights on there. Oh, you know I want to go up to 13 shanks. 190 horse. How big's my tractor? Yeah, that's not going to cut it, is it? Okay. I'll have to get a bigger tractor if I want to do that. What do I have installed? Not a lot. I should be able to stay in the medium category. Nothing with 190 though. Or, you know, nothing that's not too huge. Ugh, I could use the ugly base game one. Hang on, if we're gonna do something crazy, I'm gonna just take a moment to look around. Not quite 190. Almost had me with the Alice Chalmers. Alright, we'll just buy a base game 6R to test. I'll cry a little bit on the inside. The Kubota. Yeah, I don't have a... I think I disabled the Kubota mod. Maybe not. Maybe it was there and I wasn't looking at it. 4840s are supposed to be rated 180. Whoops. This thing's hydrostatic too. Here we go. Kind of curious how this mulching effect really plays out when you've only got crops on part of the field. How the like bonus is going to work out. Let me look at the map now that we've done a few feet. It shows us plowed. Oh, I'm getting mulched on the whole thing. Good. I dig it. IVT. Nathan, how's it going? We're testing out new mods here while we wait for Courseplay to make a couple of rounds in the other field down here. Let's see what's going on. I like this though. Let me look at what the other versions of this were, because I could run a slightly smaller version with less horsepower. That's not too bad. Yeah, 190. I could probably get away with the 4840 on something like this. Although I've got some slightly bigger, older mods, like a tuned 48 something that I could probably get away with. Did you have to download the cycle planner specifically, or did I use the normal one? No, Barrett. Ben, you have to get the version that's specifically made for row crop. Rooster Mods released a second version, so if you go to the normal one on his itch.io page, when you go to download, there's two different versions when you actually go to the download link, and you can pick the Rowcrop Ready version of the planter at that point. 4850, yeah, that's what we had on the farm, is a 4850 with the front wheel assist, and I feel like I pulled a chisel plow just like this with it. That's what we used to bust up our headlands with. But yeah, I dig this. We're going 7 miles an hour. It's a decent width for a smallish, older style piece of equipment. I think we're starting to pull together a good set of mods here for an older equipment playthrough. This is one wonky field, but this is how a lot of fields are in parts of the Midwest, where you've got the waterways that run through it with the grass and stuff there, and the drain tiles down in the low spots. It's not too far off from many fields that I've actually planted in. And there's our planter going to town. Curious to see how it transitions to the next row. Gonna have some double planting going on in spots like that. Yeah, contour farming. We didn't do so much contour farming as we used to just drive right through the waterways. We didn't try to actually contour on the side of the hills as much, but I know that's really popular in places like Wisconsin for sure. Yeah, this thing is just champing it out. And these are pretty decent sized fields on this map too. I guess I can't see how many acres it is from this interface. If I jump out, I must not have the additional field info mod on here. It used to tell me how many acres the field was when I jumped out like that. We're overlapping a full row though. See how it lines up right on the row? So Courseplay's doing a pretty good job of keeping things straight, but at least on the headlands here, it's overlapping a full row into the previous row. So I don't know how that's going to look when we move the time forward here. I want to at least let him finish the headlands and then do a couple of the up and down rows before I skip time forward to see what the rows look like. Because the rest of the mechanics will work fine. So we'll get around this field one more. When we get around this field, we'll take like 1 or 2 passes on the up down rows. Oh, goodness. But yeah, if you've enjoyed the stream and you're as excited about this map as I am, let me know by hitting the like button on the video, and then head on over to JMF Modding's itch.io page. The link is in the description of the live stream, and check this map out because it's really cool. Gotta get all the way around here, though. The one thing I'll say with Courseplay is it does so much better of a job on the curves than I could ever do. Very common in northeastern Iowa, except for the bottoms here in northeastern Iowa. Oh, the contour farming? Yeah. I'm kicking my green screen behind me. It's all going to come tumbling down. Hey, Dan, how you doing? Yeah, it's been a fun stream tonight. I am really enjoying this. I can't wait to figure out how to actually implement this on other maps in the future. That's going to be a fun tutorial video to put together at some point. Yeah, Johnny, I can't drive in a straight line either, so... Oh, we're going to have all kinds of awesome double planting here because he just pulled way into that other row, and now we're going around this tree. It's so cool that Courseplay's been able to so easily, or maybe not easily isn't the right way to put it, but adapt to things like a tree in the middle of the field like this. I remember the days back in the day, back in my day, Courseplay couldn't handle that. It'd just run into the tree, or you wouldn't be able to generate the course in the first place. Oh, goodness. Might have to do a 70s, 80s John Deere equipment series on this map. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking is, you know, get into some of this 70s, 80s era stuff and have a blast with it. Although, you know, as you can see, this is a 12-row planter, and it's taken a minute to get through this field. Now, my tractor seems to be maybe slightly underpowered with the hill and everything here, but it's not going to go fast, and you start with quite a few fields on this map. We just take a quick look here. You know, this is one of the smaller fields, actually, in the starting area here. Oh my goodness, how long is it going to take to save? I haven't saved in a while. I hope it doesn't crash out on me now, because I'd really like to see these Courseplay rows get done. No? Maybe? It's not happy. Oh, I'm getting Lua errors on something. On save start complete. Something was null. Well, the save is borked, unfortunately. That's too bad. Well, folks, I think, unfortunately, this is going to be the best spot for us to wind up the stream because, I don't know, it's just not worth it to me to go through all of that to test it out again. I'm already a half hour over my normal streaming time, and I know we're going to be checking out more of this map soon. That was too much fun to pass up. I think we're going to need to jump into an actual normal Let's Play series on this map with all these cool features. So I'm going to pivot a little bit because I was lining up to do a different map. I think we're going to come over here and see if we can start out on this map. Might take me a few days to get up and running on it, but I love the new mechanics. It was so much fun. But we will we'll be back with more UMRV videos tomorrow, and we'll see if we can get this one up and running later tonight or not later tonight, later this week or early next week, and see how it goes. hopefully y'all had a good evening or morning in some cases for I know several of y'all. Appreciate you hanging out. That's all for today. Kedrick out.